Holmes at Rockstar HQ here, and I'm dropping in to talk about the superpowers that your star signs provide you in the world of business, and the fact that there are some clues as to the type of person that you are in the stars, in your zodiac sign. And you can get your hands right now on the free resource. It's only available for a limited time. It's only going to be available throughout June. And I'm going to give you some common traits of some of the star signs so that you can get a bit of a flavour as to whether or not this is for you. So Taurus is an earth sign, which means that you are generally quite a grounded individual, and you are likely not to be very heady or unrealistic. You like what is familiar. You are a real giver. You will give your heart and soul to those that you are here to serve, and you are very easily drawn into 100% service. You follow your absolute passion, you're reliable and you're dependable, but gosh, are you stubborn? And I know that some Taurians have said to me since they've read this that, that stubborn is a bad thing, but actually stubborn isn't a bad thing. And I'm a Taurian, so stubborn can serve you very well at times. It means that you're not very flaky. It means that, once you get your head into doing something, then you will absolutely go for it. But there's a little test in there about your stubbornness and whether it's serving you too. You will need to choose your battles wisely. You often have very practical solutions to what might seem quite chaotic circumstances. You've got a bit of a BS detector. You're a bit on there when it comes to the old bullshit, and you can tend to really sort of seek that out. So you care a lot, you're quite stubborn, you're very loyal, you won't back down, but choose your battles wisely. And there's lots of other information in your report there. If you're Aries, you are a bit of a fire sign, which means that you tend to have a bit of a fiery emotional charge in you. You can go... my brother's an Aries, and I think that might be quite relevant to him. You can lose your temper really quickly, but you also forgive really quickly. So it comes and it goes. It's forgiven and forgotten. You can be very, very impatient. Lots of entrepreneurs suffer from impatience, but particularly these Arians suffer from impatience. You're happy to take the lead with things. I'm just stirring my coffee. I know that's really annoying. You're quick to take action, but sometimes you can be a bit hasty and impulsive, so it's important that your action is measured and that you are looking at acting on the right things. Action is really, really important. It's really important when it comes to business, but make sure that you aren't just flying off there doing things that aren't really great for you. You love living in the present. You are really excited by things that are there right now, ready to go. You can be a little bit turbulent at times, and you can get a bit agitated if things aren't really going as you'd expect them to, as you'd want them to. You've often got a deep desire to rescue people, and the big thing is that you can't save anyone. People have to save themselves. So we've got to make sure that you are using your beautiful soul to help lift people higher rather than looking to rescue people. You can be demanding a little bit unreasonable at times, but again, it's a good thing. You're on a quest to get your shit done, and it's not about it being a negative. I'll often say that when we look at personality traits, don't box things off as being a negative personality trait. They're all part of being you. You're a multitasker and you're usually very well organised. So grab your report. Cancer is a water sign, which means that you can be super emotional and very sensitive. And as deep as the ocean. So you are a bit of a god or goddess of the zodiac, and you are a bit of a nurturer, and you love to nourish and nurture people and look after people. You're passionate about birthing ideas, and you have got a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful imagination. You've got a tendency sometimes to be a bit pessimistic and feel a little bit insecure, and you can swing from being completely in your power and in your business and into everything to hiding. It can swing from one extreme to another. You're very good at reading people, and you can tell what people are like. You've got a really good gut instinct. You've got a really good gut reaction to what people are like. So you use that well. when you're unhappy, you become quite distant and you kind of box yourself off a little bit and become a little bit uncommunicative, which isn't always a great thing. You know, make sure that you are opening the door and that there are people around you that can help and support you. So that is yours. Grab hold of your report. There's so much more in the report. I'm just going through kind of the key points, the salient points right now. So if you are a Gemini, you are an air sign. It means that you're a natural communicator. You're good with people. You are a gentle and affectionate soul. You love to brainstorm and exchange ideas. You love to feed off other people's energies. You're a sponge for all things. You're really great at learning stuff. You're really great at taking stuff in. You love to be in the company of others. You get bored when you're on your own. And you don't like repetition or routine. And obviously some things in business do require an element of repetition and routine. So you've got to look at ways that you can make sure that you are looking after yourself, that you are putting in place stuff that makes that repetition and routine a little bit more exciting. You know, excite up your repetition and routine elements of your business, or outsource them, you know, because you do get bored quickly and you're ready to get on to the next thing. So make sure that you are seeing projects through, I think is the big thing. You have got a tendency to be a bit flaky because you get bored. And, you know, it's important that you do look at ways that you can see things through. You love mental stimulation. You can be a little bit indecisive. So you might need to get hold of my How to Make Good Decisions chart as well, because a decision not to make a decision is a decision to stay stuck. You hate complainers, you hate people who whinge and whine and groan and grind. You've got a really whizzy brain and, you know, you can use that to your advantage. So, grab your report. Leo, you are a fire sign, means you're super passionate, means you're dynamic, and you can be a little bit temperamental. You have got a huge heart and you commit yourself to things, to people, to situations, to stuff. You know, you're really all in. Okay, you're all in. And you've got this really great knack of making people feel really safe and protected around you. That's that lion in you. You know, you do make people feel really safe and protected. You're great at keeping a holding space for people. So, you know, you're great at holding a space for people while they potentially feel a bit angsty or they feel a little bit out of whack. You can hold a really great space for people. Don't like being ignored. You know, maybe that is that raw lion in you. You're really confident on the outside, but on the inside, you're very, very sensitive. You avoid negativity and you don't really hold grudges. So if things go a bit meh and kick off a little bit, you know, you're not going to hold the grudge. You're not going to be the one that remembers it forever in a day. You're going to let it go. You're a straight talker and you are mindful that sometimes people might see your confidence as an element of arrogance. And, you know, as long as you are coming from a great place, then confidence won't be misinterpreted as arrogance. You can be very, 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 very competitive. And you're a bit of a thrill seeker at heart. So grab hold of your report. Then we've got Libra, which is an air sign, which means that you're a bit of a natural communicator and that you're good at putting people at ease. Okay, you're a great thinker, but you're also very analytical. So you're not a pie in the sky kind of thinker. You're very grounded in your thinking and you analyse things very well. You love harmony. You love everybody to get along. You hate it when people aren't getting along. You've got a very keen and intellectual mind. You don't like being alone. And you're fascinated by symmetry and balance and clean lines and things like that. You hold back if you don't want to get involved because you don't want a bit of confrontation going on, but you are a little bit indecisive at times. So again, you might be another one that needs to get a hold of the How to Make Good Decisions chart as well. You can get stuck in perfectionism sometimes, and you have very, very high standards of yourself. So sometimes that, you know, can keep you back a little bit, because your idea of perfect isn't necessarily everybody else's idea of perfect. You're great at observing, you would make a great mentor, quick to admit when you're wrong, and you're happy to put yourself under pressure sometimes in order to make other people smile. So, you know, make sure that you balance that out and make sure that you're making yourself smile. Get your report. Capricorn is an earth sign. It means that you're likely to be grounded, not heady, not unrealistic, you're not a drama llama. There's no drama llama going on for you. You're very patient and resourceful, and you can really look at how pieces come together. High standards and self-expectations again. You can be relentless. You can really be relentless, particularly on yourself, not necessarily on other people. You can be relentless on that seek for perfection, and you can be relentless in pursuing the things that you're here to pursue. Make sure that it doesn't drain your energy. Make sure that being relentless doesn't leave you burnt out. You can read people really quickly, so trust your gut. You're really great at this. Trust your gut. You get annoyed, and sometimes you can be a little bit brutal with your words if you're annoyed. And it's kind of a split one. It's not meant, and it can sometimes be a little bit harsh. You can be very serious, but you need to stop trying to prove yourself because you're perfect as you are. Go and get your report. Sagittarius is a fire sign, super passionate, dynamic, and, a little bit temperamental. But again, it's not a negative. It's a great thing. So you have, lots and lots of beautiful qualities. You're very generous. You're optimistic. You love change. You embrace change with both hands. You're really great at moving things forward. You're not adverse to taking a little bit of risk. You're not adverse to jumping in a little bit and seeing what happens. You can be a little bit impatient, a little bit restless. Again, like I said, lots of entrepreneurs are, so don't really beat yourself up about that. It's quite an entrepreneurial trait as well as your star sign trait. Great at transforming thoughts into actions. You love to learn new stuff and explore new ideas and, really get your teeth into things. You like change. You like things moving forward. You like excitement. So go and get your report. Aquarius is an air sign, which means that you are a natural communicator. You're good with people. You're good at putting people at ease. You're a thinker, but you're also analytical. You have a lovely, generous, enlightened and kind-hearted soul. Okay, you're not very judgmental, you're very accepting, and you are wonderfully, wonderfully, wonderfully creative. You love to be original, you love to be independent, you can be quite eccentric but quite shy all at the same time. You've got a very low boredom threshold. You get really bored really easily. It's like, I'm bored now. Bored now. You can be a bit of an overthinker. You embrace change. You've got a bit of an inner rebel to where you might not like to let it out in public that often, but inside there's a proper inner rebel going on in there. Sometimes you get a little bit angry, and that takes people by surprise because you are so generous and so lovely and so enlightened and so gorgeous that sometimes if you get a bit angry, it just makes people go, whoa, where did that come from? You can get stuck sometimes in seeing other people's point of views all the time, and you look for the best in others. So make sure that you can really look at what's best for you as well as what's best for other people. You're great at adapting to circumstances and situations. You're very intelligent. You're a deep thinker. You can make stuff happen. Scorpio, you're a water sign. You are super emotional, sensitive. You are as deep as the ocean, highly intuitive, and sometimes very, very, very profound. Resourceful, very resourceful, can bring stuff together. Super passionate, assertive, decisive, really great at getting those actions done. Good judge of character. But you can be very distrusting of people's motives. You can think that people have got an alternative agenda when perhaps they just aren't nice. Sometimes they're just nice. You're calm and cool. We won't see you flapping. Awesome leader, because you're great at bringing out your zingy energy and bringing out other people's zingy energy simultaneously. Bit competitive, but that can keep you, it can drive you and really drain your energy. Only give compliments when you mean them. So, if it comes out of a Scorpio's mouth, then, you can trust it. It's not going to be BS. Your personality is quite magnetic and quite mesmerising for lots of people. You need to retreat sometimes, and that's totally okay. You've got quite an introvert personality in there as well. And you can be a little bit stubborn. You see everything, but don't necessarily say everything. So grab your report. Pisces is a water sign, and you are super sensitive and emotional and as deep as the ocean, but you are compassionate, you are intuitive, you are gentle, you are wise. You're friendly and you're selfless. You have great empathy. You can really stand in other people's shoes and see what's going on. You can get stuck in a bit of a victim or martyr kind of conundrum sometimes, and you can tune into people, and you are often much more tolerant than other people. You're dreamy, you really like that sort of escapism of dreaming and being part of that. Listen to your intuition, because usually it's spot on. You're very creative. You can be relied upon, but don't let people dump on you, I think is the big one there. You bring the best out in people. You can be fearful at times. You fear judgment. You fear what other people think. You fear that you're not pleasing people. Remember, pleasing people isn't something that needs to be right at the top of your list. You don't need to be a people pleaser. You've got a hidden competitive side, and you are great at manifesting. Go get your report. And Virgo is an earth sign, grounded, no heady, unrealistic dramas, tune into your emotions, and you're an action taker, Virgos. You like to get shit done. You can become a little bit bossy at times, but that is purely in your pursuit of getting stuff done. You can be a little bit of a worrier at times. You can worry about what other people think. You can worry about missing things as well. So you have this nag in the back of your head. You've missed something. And as I've just said that, I've realised that I haven't put the bins out yet. So after this, I'm going to go and put the bins out. You can be a swan at times. You can look calm and serene, but underneath you can be going 100 miles an hour. What's the rush? Just let it happen. It will come through. You can be a bit of a perfectionist, and you can have high standards. So just make sure that you aren't using those to beat yourselves around the head with. And you've got a great eye for solutions to problems. And you're quite organised. So despite being that swan, you are very organised on the top. So go and grab your Superpower Star Sign reports that are available throughout June. And I will speak to you again really, really soon. Bye.